At this point I have gone in and out weaving all the way around, and I'm going to pull it tight to where I can make that hole right here as small as possible in the center. You will still have a bit of a gap, and I will show you how to close that up now. Be careful not to pull too tight because you can break your yarn, but we want it to be as closed as possible right here. And you'll see how all of the sides are kind of starting to line up right there, and we're going to start weaving those together. So I like to start by putting the ending through here to where the two of them are together. You just pull it right on through. And then I see that this part naturally is wanting to line up over here. So I'm just going to pick 2 stitches and go right through and pull it together so that this side is now pulling across there. I'm going to do the same thing back across the other direction. I think I would like to go through here first to keep these two a little bit closer together. And then now this side is coming over here, so I'm just going to go right back through, weaving in all of these points together so that we really cinch that top all the way closed. None of this is done in an exact spot or exact science or exact pattern. So you just go in where you feel like you need some extra stitches to cinch this closed. You can kind of unfold it and double check and make sure that the top is going the way that you want it to and isn't getting all bunched up in places. Like right here, I want to make sure that that little side is still out and visible. So I'm going to go from this one here across all the way over here so that this little spot doesn't get too squished over there. And once I feel like it is nice and tight, which I do right here, I'm going to send my needle back through the top and go all the way to where it's on the inside of my hat. I'm going to do the exact same thing with this piece too. So I'm pulling in that first stitch through there, and I'm going to do the same thing with this other end. So know that that tail is on the inside of my hat, and I want this tail on the inside of my hat as well. Just folding it over, pulling it through, and going from the inside of the hat here to pull it on through. I'm going to flip my hat inside out so that this is the inside, and I want to tie these two together in a knot just to make sure that they are super secure. And then I'm going to weave these two tails in through one of these rows right here. This one is super long, so I'm going to snip it off so I don't have to fight with quite as much yarn. Again, just folding in half, threading through that needle. If you have a metal needle, you can probably get away with doing both of these at the same time. So I'm just going to go straight down the inside of all of these. Again, it doesn't matter where you're weaving this in. This is the inside of your hat, so you're not going to see this part. But you'll want to send it through multiple and pull it through. If it gets stuck, you might have to use your finger and go through that loop to pull it out. And then I like to send it back up the opposite direction just to really make sure that it is nice and secure and we're not going to have a little flyaway tail anywhere. Once you've got that, you can just snip off the excess, flip your hat back the right way, and you'll have a tube that is closed at the top that looks like this. At the bottom, you just cuff it, and you will have your final beanie that looks like that.